LEGO just announced this week the impending release of the Red London Telephone booth. It's the latest Ideas set, and I know a lot of people love Ideas sets and 18 plus sets and all that. Normally, I would provide a breakdown, detailed breakdown of the pieces and the building techniques. Instead, I'm going to do just a little bit of that, but I'm going to focus more on the bigger picture and why there are two reasons this set rubs me the wrong way. So I'm going to go through a couple things in this video, including my reaction and breakdown of the set, and then I'll get to what I don't like about this in the big picture. And by the way, it's not the number of stickers. It's more to do with the direction of the Ideas theme itself. Now, normally I would have a lot of images on this video, but I'm pressed for time in terms of editing, so it's going to be a little bit more of me speaking off the cuff. So I hope you bear with me, but I think you'll get a lot out of it, so stick with me on this. The first thing I want to address is what I like about the telephone booth set. I like that it's a larger scale. You know, LEGO oftentimes gives you either micro scale or minifig scale, but this is one of those sets that's going to be a little bit bigger of a scale, and that allows them to put in more detail. I think when you look at how LEGO is used, it provides an opportunity to give more detail, but also better parts usage, some nice parts usage. And so as I looked through this set, there were some things that I was drawn to, like for instance, the fence, that black fence behind it, where you use some of those short bar, those two-length bar elements, some of the longer bar elements, one-by-one rounded studs with holes in them, and they're topped off by this spear tip piece that I really like in pearl gold. It's not a new piece, but again, the way they use that and they set up that fence is really nice. I really enjoy that. I also love the size of the phone booth itself. I think it looks big and dynamic. In fact, it's taller than it is wide. It's 24 studs wide, but it's, you know, a couple inches taller as the phone booth in the width of the set. I love the fact that they use these red 1x2x3 windows, the flat front windows. Those are fantastic. In fact, there are 45 of those included in the set, which is almost as many as all other sets that use those red windows combined. And LEGO's been putting out these windows since 2010. So in 13 years, they've come out with 47 of these windows and sets, 45 of them here in this set is fantastic. And I like that because if you're a mock builder like I am, or I try to be, you end up needing a lot of a particular piece in order to make that mock effective. You don't need 5 windows, you need 20. And this is a set that I think allows you to get the volume of pieces you would need if you like those pieces. I'm also a fan of the cobblestone path. I think the way that they set that up is nice. The fact that they use about 24 of those new-ish 1x2 rounded tiles in light gray is fantastic. I like the brick wall behind with those profile masonry bricks in dark tan. I know those aren't new, but it looks really, really nice. And the way they set it up is convenient. Now, I think it's a bit ridiculous that they show a picture, and I'll show it up here, of you using the phone booth set as a phone stand. I don't know who's going to do that. I mean, come on. If I don't have my phone in my pocket, it's sitting next to me or somewhere nearby, or it's charging, right? Like, I'm not going to put it on this elaborate $120 phone stand, but you know, it's creative. I get that. But I like a lot of elements of this set. I'm also intrigued by how they construct the door itself, not just with the windows, but the hinge mechanism, right? They use these Technic pin connectors, and they allow you to open that door without having, you know, designated hinge pieces. That's fantastic. It's a creative building technique and a solution that, in me and my lack of real building skill, I have a hard time coming up with good ways of hinging doors. And I think that's a really cool way of doing it. So kudos to the LEGO set designers for adapting that into the set, as well as the overall creator of the Ideas set, who got the 10,000 likes for this set to become a possibility. I also think there are a lot of fun details. I know that there are stickers, and a lot of fans don't like stickers. I'm not a huge fan of stickers, but I can also appreciate LEGO using them, especially to keep the cost of a set down rather than printing bricks. When you look at the interior of this, and they have 2 alternative interiors that you can use. One is kind of the early 1920s version when the phones came out, and these phone booths were first appearing on the streets of London, and they have different stickers for that as opposed to the more turn of the century, you know, the 1900s to the 2000s phone booths that have other stickers, and it's cool. London posters, advertisements for other LEGO sets. You know, you've got I think the Big Ben, you've got the double-decker bus. You've got other things in there that are just really cool and very iconic for London. And I guess that's one of the areas that I want to address that I don't like about this set. I look at this set and I say, well, who's going to buy this? I mean, look at it. It's a great set if you love London culture. And that's fine. There could be Anglophiles around the world, but I don't think there's a lot of them. I have friends who have been to London and like London and I think might be interested in picking this set up, but it's not a set that a lot of people around the world are going to be really interested in getting. I think people in England and London might get this, and maybe other people that have been to London, which might open that market up maybe more for Europeans, but at the same time, I'm wondering what the demand is for the London phone booth. In some ways, I see this as kind of like, not entirely like, the soccer stadiums, right? Where they were targeting fans of particular soccer clubs, and they're cool sets, but why would I, as somebody who honestly doesn't pay a whole lot of attention to soccer, but if I'm not a fan of those teams, why would I get them unless you're just a massive soccer fan? And so you're limiting the market. Now, those soccer stadium sets were not Idea's set, but it kind of bleeds into one of the issues I have, and that is we are only going to get about a half dozen or so Idea sets per year, right? They're using this set as one of those spots. Like, Lego doesn't create an infinite number of sets on a whim. They want to create sets that hit certain markets, and I get that. They probably do market research and they've identified a market for the set, but it takes up the spot of another set. And while Lego has increased its offerings, especially at this price point of $100 plus or $120, it's still a set place that could be used by something else that, selfishly, I might prefer over this. You know, I did a video a little bit ago about how Lego is increasing the number of expensive sets they come out with every single year. In fact, I expect that we'll probably see somewhere in the ballpark of 40 plus sets that cost $100 or more. Why? Because in 2023, that's what we saw. There were over 40, I think it was over 40 sets that were above $150. There were over 60 sets that hit that $100 or more threshold. And by the way, I don't think that includes the sets that were $99.99. So if you have tax on top of it, it's going to cross $100. I went back and looked at the second quarter 2022 results. There were, I think, in the ballpark of 50 options that Lego could choose from for the Idea sets. These are all Ideas options that had 10,000 likes on the site. And some of them have become Lego sets, not those versions, right? But some of those ideas were probably already in development for Lego. I'm just making a list here. I've made some notes. One of them is the Great Wave. That became a Lego set, even if it wasn't the Ideas version. The Viking Village was another Idea set that became a Lego set. So it wasn't that particular version of the Viking Village. Even the old train shed, if you see from that 2022 review period, that I think is very close to the Bricklink Designer Program sets that are going to be released. So some of these were really good ideas that they could have incorporated. Instead, they chose this as one of our few options. And again, selfishly, I'm not a big fan of it. Which leads me to the second critique, and putting this in the big picture, mind you, of Lego Ideas. Lego Ideas is one of my favorite themes. It wasn't always that way. I want to preface it by saying some of the early Lego Idea sets were very niche, similar to this. And so it's not like this set really is unique for Lego Ideas, but I think it's a harkening back to the old school Lego Ideas when they first started coming out, and you had originally Lego QSO and then into Ideas, and you had things like the Beatles' Yellow Submarine, or you had a car or a specific brand of make of car, or even some of the other pop culture sets that have come out. The old school sets, some of them are good. Some of them were rated highly by fans, and others weren't. Now, what I've noticed is that there was a time period, like 2021, 2022, 2020, where the sets that came out from Ideas were incredible sets that were really enjoyed by the fan community writ large. In fact, I've got some numbers here from some of the ratings. I went to brickset.com, one of my favorite repositories for Lego information. And if you go back to 2020, 3 of the 6 Idea sets earned a 4.5 rating from Brickset or higher. To me, that's out of 5 bricks. That's like an A- or better. Like, that's good, like 4.5 out of 5. If you go to 2021, 4 out of 6 of those sets achieved a 4.5 or higher. That's 2/3. That's phenomenal. In 2022, 4 out of 7, so over 50% of those sets were 4.5 or better. That's good. And this is like a golden era for Lego ideas. And then in 2023, 2 out of the 7. It used to be that the Lego idea sets, I knew that if they're going to announce what was coming out, or I would expect them to give the images of the set and announce the official release, I'd be jazzed up for it. I'd be excited. And okay, let's break this down. Let's see what's going on. Now I look at the repertoire of sets and it's, okay. What I've noticed is that the theme of ideas, well, it's just not what it was. 2023 and possibly 2024. Looking at the 2024 sets, I'm not sure that they're going to be all that highly rated. There are a couple that might stand out. I think, for instance, Dungeons and Dragons, which I'm not a huge fan of. I never did that when I was a kid. I didn't do RPGs or those kinds of things, but I will say there's going to be a huge community that's going to get into that set if it's done well. And I could see that getting a great rating from Lego fans and the community really embracing it. But I look at the Polaroid. It was really expensive for what you got. I'm not sure that's that great of a set as executed by Lego. I think it's a cool idea, taps into some nostalgia. Fine. I'm not sure it's going to be a 4.5 out of 5 set. The family tree, I know that there was an idea that won a competition, so it wasn't the traditional channel for ideas, but it's a meh. Like, it does not really resonate with me. And I love family-oriented Lego sets. It just doesn't do anything for me. I don't think that's going to be a 4.5 out of 5. And so looking at this one as well, I'm not convinced that it's going to get that rating. And so I'm wondering, again, what the direction of Lego ideas is going to be in the future, and if they can get back to some of those sets that were executed so well that you just had to go out and get because it became not just a nostalgia thing, but the Medieval Blacksmith. That's a great set. Incredible, one of the only sets that I would give a 10 out of 10 to. Like, it's that good. I don't see that in the 2023 sets. I don't see that in so far the offerings that we're aware of in terms of the official images for 2024. So I hope that they see whatever happens with these sets and it provides feedback to them to go one direction and maybe improve upon some of the offerings. Okay, now I'm excited for future idea sets. Don't get me wrong. I'm not sour on the entire line. I'm looking forward to the Botanical Garden set. I think that the Botanical Gardens Friends set was one of the greatest sets of 2023, and a larger version of that could be a modular style set would be incredible, and I look forward to that. I think the preliminary model itself looks really good. Twilight, I don't care about at all, but there's some possibilities there. So it's not like I'm down on the entire theme, but I noticed this subtle change in terms of the really good sets in 2020, 21, and 22, as opposed to what we got in 23 and so far in 2024. So dear Lego, if you're watching this, right, please give us better executed idea sets and choose wisely, because there's so many options that you can choose for those future idea sets. All right, now if you are disappointed by ideas, comment down below. If you think I'm way off base, well, comment down below. Thanks for watching, and before you go, why don't you check out one of our other videos, and always remember to keep building together.